Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Global Apparel Sourcing Expo. Welcome to the conference of the Expo. My name is Matthijs Grité. I'm Secretary General of the International Apparel Federation. This is the global body uniting apparel industry associations from all over the world, from all continents, with the mission to unite the global apparel industry, to promote and to strengthen supply chains across the world, making them stronger, smarter, and more sustainable. For the expo that we have organized, we also have a conference component, which we have split in three main topics. The first week of the expo, we are talking about sustainability. The second week of the expo, digitization, and the third week of the expo, about the sourcing trends in the world. I now have the honor and the privilege to be talking to Mustafiz Uddin. He is the CEO of Bangladesh company Denim Export. He's also the CEO of the Bangladesh Apparel Exchange. He's a well-known and fierce fighter for the Bangladesh, the well-being of the Bangladesh apparel industry. He's a commentator. He's a prolific writer of articles for both Bangladeshi and international media. And he has a strong vision on the supply chain of our industry. So welcome to this conference, Mustafiz, and I'd like to thank you very much for joining us. And I have some questions for you, and I'm eager to hear what you think of these topics. My first question, yes.
Thank you so much.
Great. It's good to have you. I would like to ask you, it's clear that the garment industry in Bangladesh has been hit particularly hard across compared with other countries in the world by COVID-19. Stores are reopening, fortunately, in Europe and in the US. Do you see demand picking up in any way? And if you do you see that this demand differs from what it was before the crisis started?
Thanks for asking the question. Actually, this is a very interesting question because one hand we are saying to the international media that orders are being cancelled in Bangladesh, and sometimes my friends saying that whenever I see you in the social media, your factory is full of production, full of orders. I would like to say all my friends through you is full of orders because 3 months we had not able to produce. If you go behind from March 25th, our government had announced a shutdown, and from there April, May, we didn't able to produce the garments. So we have, that's why, a lot of production. And if you ask the questions about future orders and how we are getting the orders, I think we are not getting enough future orders, and I think my forecasting is in the coming days in Bangladesh we will be having minimum 40% less production from the previous season, and and this is our reality at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. I think that clarifies something very important, right? That even though orders are fortunately coming back, this will not solve the situation that has already been created by the gap in orders and the lack of liquidity that has been created. It's not a compensation for this, if I understand you correctly.
Yes, Matthias. Actually, it's like that. If you don't allow me to eat 7 days, and after 7 days you bring me a lot of food and you ask me eat whatever you want, Mustafiz, I can't eat because 7 days all my organs gone, my heart, my eyes is gone. So the situation had been created due to all these buyers, non-payment, discount, delay shipment. Our cash flow already broken, our nerves had been broken, and my personal feeling is I've been killed, like by somebody is catching my throat and just killing me day by day. So the effect is like that. Even we have from now enough order, and even we get a lot of order from now to coming 6 months also, but the damage already made because of this situation, I think the manufacturer needs year after year to recover this situation. We have a very, very upcoming tough days because of this situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can imagine. It's good that you clarify that. Thank you. Another question is more looking at the structural situation, and it is clear to everybody that this crisis is putting a magnifying glass on some of the structural problems that were already there in the system. So, in your view, being in this situation, what do you see as the biggest structural problem that our apparel industry is facing?
First of all, I will tell that the apparel industry between the buyers and the manufacturer completely failed to prove that they can solve the problem. And my request will be to the international body, civil society, all the human, that it's time to they interfere to solve the problem. We've been seeing so many years, we are talking about purchasing practices, all these problem, and there is nothing new, but we have to accept at this moment that the manufacturer and the buyer failed to solve the problem by themselves. To mention some of the problem is payment terms, the way we do business, contacts. But Matthias, my question is, I think even you and me also, we discuss so many times that we know all this problem. We all are well aware of all this problem, but it's not happening. I think in COVID-19, from now, it should happen. And then my request will be either European Union or any government or any legal body should step forward and say to these both manufacturers and the buyer that stop, it's enough. You fail to protect the workers. You have no right to continue business like this, because ultimately victim of COVID-19 is the workers. They are the one who have the most affected people.
Yeah. So what you are saying is that you're saying that the industry, has trouble fixing the systemic
Yes.
problems
Yes.
themselves. So we
Themselves,
need,
and no more chance. They should not get any more chance by saying we will solve it. I think the civil society had given enough time to the industry, but the industry failed to solve the problem by themselves. No more chance.
just a question. Who do you see as the biggest factor from outside of the industry solving this? Do you think governments can play an important role enacting rules and regulations also in US and EU?
That's the only way to solve it. I think there is no other way left. EU and US, all this government and then policymakers should come and formulate a law and save this industry and these peoples. And there is no other way. For me, I don't see there is any other things to think at this moment. It's already proved.
Okay, well that's very clear. And well, we will certainly continue our discussion about that. There are of course some laws in consideration, one of which is the mandatory due diligence in the EU, and that has its advantages and disadvantages. But that is something very concrete which is being discussed right now in Brussels. So we should talk about what that can do. But that's for another conversation, Mustafic. That is very valuable. I have one more question, Mustafic. We always have to end a conversation looking at the future and at your own company as well, because you do a lot for the industry, but you have a company of your own to run as well. What do you see for your own company, Denim Expert, as the best way forward after this crisis?
Yes, first of all is I had rewrite the definition of partnership in my company. So-called partners are not partners. It had been proved. So I started to rewriting my definition for partnership. This is the first thing I am doing in my company every single day. And second thing is I am rewriting my growth plan, my future strategy, because I think we may expecting that COVID-19 is for a short time and then business will be as usual in coming days. No, it will be not as usual in coming days. I think business will be like this even the COVID is over also, and we don't know when the situation will be normal. So by taking this in consideration, I started to restructure my business, and I'm trying to how can I adjust this growth plan, and how can I maintain my business in this way. Another thing is I'm trying to do is reducing the cost as much as possible to make it as low as it is, so we can survive. And third important thing I'm doing is the digitalization. I think digitalization is the only way to survive. How can we reduce digitalization on not only reducing the cost and also reducing the times. And I think COVID-19 already proved that digitalization is the only way to move forward. So this is the three things I'm emphasizing at this moment for my future sustain of my business.
Great. Yeah, that's good to hear. I like the digitization as well because it does multiple things, right? It as you said, it reduces cost, reduces the time. But we always say the speed doesn't mean anything, has no value without the right system. So the speed has to lead to the ability to have the right product at the right time, at the right customer. And if so, that's the system that needs to be behind it. And if you have that combination of cost reduction and speed leading to the right product, to the right customer, then you can reduce the waste of producing stuff that in the end no customer actually really wants, which then you have to mark down. And all those markdown costs, as we know, are probably the biggest cost in the industry. And the only way to deal with those costs is to squeeze on everything else, including the workers. So yeah, I really believe in digitization if it's done in the right way, if it leads to the right product at the right time. And actually, maybe we should just become a more normal industry, right? More like the car industry or the furniture industry. And then we'll be all right, and your company will be all right, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Sure. So I'd like to thank you very much, Mustafic, for inspiring words. I'm sure the listeners will have learned a lot. And unfortunately, we have to stop. We will continue our conversation offline, so to speak. But thank you very much for your contribution to our Expo.
Thank you, Matthias, and thank you to the entire team of ForSource and AIF. And I think you guys are doing a great job. And in this COVID moment, the leadership of AIF is really remarkable, and I'm very proud to say I am a proud member of AIF. Thank you.
Yes, we're glad to have you as a member. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.